Hello everyone, welcome to another video from the Motley Fool. I'm Owen Benelak and I'm here to reveal today the dividend champion, shall we say, of years to come, a stock that you will want to own for income in your old age. That share is Lloyds Banking Group. I know, a shocking thing to say, given that this bank has not paid a dividend since the financial crisis broke way back in 2008. It's paid zero a year. Why on earth would I think that that would be a dividend champion of tomorrow? Well, partly it's because I'm getting old, and I remember that before the financial crisis, Lloyds was a great dividend payer. It used to regularly pay out over yields of over 5%. That was because it was a very conservatively run bank. It didn't really do anything particularly exciting, just borrowed money and lent money, and paid out a lot of its earnings to shareholders. That's why people bought it. They bought it for the dividend and for its perceived safety. Now you might say, look where that got them. It hasn't paid a dividend for 5 years. It was bailed out by the government. I think the financial crisis was a particularly strange time. And I also think that Lloyds, I'm sure, would have had to cut its dividend, but I think it would have been back into health sooner if it hadn't merged with HBOS. And there's a lot of what-ifs and haves and could-haves in there. I fully understand that, but I don't think we're likely to see another merger of that kind in the years ahead. And if we do, I don't think it's going to be the basket case that HBOS was. Much worse than anyone could have imagined. So that's what held Lloyds, put a hole in the hull and sunk the ship almost, but it's bobbed back to the surface. It's now got a lot of capital. It's now returned to profit. It's a tiny profit, but it's returned to profit. That means it can go soon to the Bank of England and request permission to start paying out dividends. And that is good news for this bank, because that's going to be why people buy it in the future. Now, this year it's expected to be given that permission by analysts, and they expect it to pay at about 1.5 pence a share. That is going to be a yield of about 2%, which is not very exciting, I admit. But next year, that's forecast to rise to about 3.5p. Now, there we're getting into, on the current share price, about a 4% yield. That's already much nicer and higher than the FTSE. But really, it could go even further, because Lloyds will be earning about 8 pence next year. And analysts reckon that should the business sort of tick up about 4% loan growth a year, the bank will probably end up paying about 70% of its earnings as a dividend to shareholders. So on 8 pence next year, that could be about 5 to 6p, let's call it 5.5p. That's a yield of over 7%, and that's not in 10 years' time, that is next year, so you don't have to wait a long time for that. And that yield should grow with inflation as loan growth continues to tick up. So you're not going to get a massive payout this year, but I think all the signs are that this is going to be a high yielding bank that income investors are going to want to own.